Ferrari's season is in general a bad one for the team of their stature, although in the last few races they seem to have improved quite a lot, and they even won the race in Singapore. Sainz proved that he shouldn't be left behind by Leclerc as a second driver, and things went from bad to worse for the Monegasque driver, who has now fired shots about next season's car, which could definitely ruin the harmony in the Prancing Horse. Now, back-to-back pole positions and securing the first victory of the season marked a remarkable turnaround for the Ferrari team in 2023, as just a few weeks ago it seemed like the team was headed nowhere, but now they're in a completely different position. They've openly acknowledged their plans to design a substantially different car for 2024, which we'll get to later on in the video. The current form of Ferrari raises questions about its authenticity and what it signifies for the remainder of the season. Carlos Sainz's win in Singapore was even more surprising compared to the team's claim of pole position during the Italian Grand Prix weekend, and this is because Ferrari has demonstrated greater competitiveness at low downforce levels throughout the season. They prioritised their home race by employing a specialised low drag package at Monza, giving themselves the best chance of success, and it's worth noting that Ferrari has also shown promise on street circuits earlier in the year when Charl LeClerc was close to securing victories in Azerbaijan and Monaco. The SF23 appears to excel in two contrasting scenarios: low downforce with minimal corners and high downforce with numerous short corners, necessitating rapid changes in direction and adept curb riding. Singapore's track conditions were ideal for the Ferrari, aligning it with preferences and avoiding its dislikes, such as long corners, wind, and fluctuating temperatures. With this in mind, Ferrari's dominant performance in Singapore was not entirely unexpected, so even though Red Bull faced challenges during the weekend, it was well within the range of Ferrari's unpredictable shifts in the pecking order this season. Ferrari's team principal, Vasseur, hinted at this when he suggested that whatever progress Ferrari had made may only be worth half a step in qualifying, as it hadn't completely upended the established hierarchy. After all, Ferrari was still in contention with Mercedes and McLaren during the weekend without a substantial lead. So was it simply a perfect storm of favourable circumstances? Well, to some extent, yes. And while Ferrari surprised themselves with their outright pace in Singapore, it wasn't entirely unforeseen. The performance came amidst cautious optimism for the following year, and the fact that Ferrari was operating at the upper limits of its performance potential just a few weeks after what was arguably their worst race of the season in another high downforce setting in Zandvoort indicates that meaningful progress may indeed have been achieved. Ferrari mentioned that it would have been hard to imagine being in such good shape in Singapore after struggling at Zandvoort. It seems that crucial lessons from Zandvoort, combined with the distinctly different downforce levels at Monza, guided Ferrari towards a setup direction that provided a very stable car balance right from the start in Singapore. Charl LeClerc described it as a change in approach, and Carlos Sainz also made a significant stride in his pre-weekend preparation. He was on point from the very first flying lap in Italy. This preparedness enabled Ferrari to hit the ground running at these races and capitalize on circumstances that played to the car's strengths and mitigated its weaknesses. There was no single magic solution, rather a combination of factors contributed to Ferrari's success. This, coupled with their persistent efforts to rectify aerodynamic shortcomings and inconsistent performance since recognizing the severity of their situation in Saudi Arabia, underscores the adage in F1: progress is achieved through a series of incremental steps. Ferrari's engineers introduced a new modified floor in Japan, affecting various aspects from the conveyors to the diffuser. Comparing it to the season start, we can notice changes in the outer edge region, but the SF23 sacrificed a substantial surface to address porpoising, resulting in an inevitable loss of downforce. The new floor had a positive impact on both Charl Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, making the SF23 more predictable at Sazuka, a task that would have been daunting several months ago. Now, both drivers confirmed significant improvement improvement during Friday's free practice sessions. The forthcoming weekend in Qatar will be intriguing to affirm this upward trajectory, even on circuits where the SF23's load capabilities are not an ideal match. Probably, if this race had taken place before the summer break, the Maranello team's car would have had no chance against Mercedes and perhaps even Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin. After the summer break, the SF23 has overtaken Aston Martin and lowered the difference against Mercedes in P2 by a whopping 34 points. The comforting factor is that the Italian team's climb in the constructors' standings is the result of an evident trend reversal compared to direct competition, especially in managing race pace. Improvement is the result of a better understanding of the car and the accuracy of update. And if the goal for this season can only be the runner-up spot among the constructors, in the context of the 2024 Formula 1 season, it's crucial that Ferrari's engineers have identified the areas for intervention so that Project 676 doesn't start from scratch but is based on certainties. Current circumstances force us to think in small steps. In the coming year, crumbs of competition will simply not be enough. Leclerc, however, has admitted that he's not confident Ferrari can challenge Red Bull for the championship next season, although he does believe the Italians have made a step in the right direction. Last year, Ferrari challenged Red Bull for the title for just over half a season before mistakes saw the Maranello-based team fall comfortably behind the Austrians. Ferrari hasn't even been close to challenging Red Bull this season for the title, with the Scuderia currently third in the Constructors' Championship. Recent upgrades introduced by the Italians have actually been developed to learn the last few details for their 2024 challenger, although Leclerc admits that the car they'll have next season is very different from the SF23. First of all, the 2024 project is very different from the car we have this year, Leclerc told Sky Italia ahead of this weekend's Japanese Grand Prix. And what we learned shows us that we've made a good choice. The more we learn, the better it is for doing the last few details for next year's car, he said. It's super important, and it was really good to understand that before the end of the season. Well, there is no argument that Ferrari has made considerable progress in recent rounds and is very much in the fight with Mercedes for second place in the standings, but that's ultimately not where they want to be. Ferrari wants to challenge Red Bull for the top spot, although Leclerc isn't convinced that this will happen in 2024. "I'm not confident we've found everything to close the gap to Red Bull," Leclerc said, "but it's a step in the right direction for sure." These comments from Leclerc come at a time when Sainz is delivering better results and is simply the better of the two out there on the track. With reports coming in that Ferrari might prioritise Leclerc in signing a new contract and receiving a better salary, Sainz has stepped up to the plate and proved that he should not be a second priority. With Audi presumably going for him in 2026, it wouldn't be smart of Ferrari to lose a driver to a team that's promising a lot to be their main competitor, because they wouldn't be giving away Sainz to, let's say, Williams or Alfa Romeo. Carlos is a 2023 race winner, and that statement of its own is significant, considering the dominance that we see from Red Bull. But it would be naive to imagine that this recent trend will continue forever. Leclerc is too good of a driver to be relegated to a supporting role and will hit back, although there's every chance that the limitations of the current Ferrari mean Sainz continues to thrive across the final 7 races of 2023. The key for Sainz is whether he can, as he mentioned, carry this form over into next year, when Ferrari hopes to be more competitive. There's no reason why his gains in terms of his approach won't do so, but the specific limitations that are holding back Leclerc will be eliminated if Ferrari's 2024 machine performs as expected. Sainz is at his best right now and is besting Leclerc. The next challenge is to do so when Leclerc is in top form. So, what do you think? Could Leclerc really be feeling the pressure from Sainz, or could the 2024 car really not suit him? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next video.